Hey guys, it's Shira. Last week's Heracross run was very fast. It's an awesome Pokemon, but it was on the easier side, so let's up the difficulty. Special thanks to, I'll just call you Dave, who commented last week that I should use a non-evolved Pokemon. So I will, and while I'm at it, let's answer, why are there so few unevolved Soloruns for Platinum? I mean, I think it's the best Pokemon game in the series, so let's find out why it's not as popular. Anyway, I still haven't talked about Shinx. Can it beat Platinum solo? I'm honestly leaning towards no, because of mediocre stats and Shinx having a really shallow move pool. Which trainer do you think will cause the most trouble for Shinx? As always, my rules are no held items in battle, which may be put to the test in this run, and only use the title Pokemon in battle. Let's see if this is even possible. I start the game by naming me and my rival after a film I've seen recently. This isn't relevant, but if you get the reference, let me know in the comments. In fact, even if you don't know the reference, leave a comment anyway. I love getting any feedback or suggestions so that I can make better videos. Anyway, I picked Turtwig. This gives the rival what I think is the hardest team, as Infernape is fast, hits hard, and isn't weak to electric. However, you may have noticed that Turtwig isn't Shinx. It can be caught in the second route in the game though, which means that this run doesn't have to be edited with a universal Pokemon randomizer. You could even play along on a DS if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you still can if you enjoy suffering. That may suggest that this run is hard. It is. But not yet at least. After catching Shinx, I grind it up to just one level higher than the rival's Chimchar, and that's the least overleveled I'm going to be for any fight this run. The fight itself goes well, as I get a lucky crit letting me two-shot his Chimchar. Rock is up next. He's the rock-type leader, so naturally I find him in a cave, destroying rocks. I get the feeling he hates rock types. I do a little bit of grinding so that Shinx can learn Bite, which does semi-decent damage to rocks, letting me have a chance against rock. I start the first attempt with charge as I thought the damage boost it gives is permanent, then chomp down on Geodude. I'm just barely able to take it out, then feint to his Onix. Thankfully this gym is really early, so just a few more levels makes a huge difference. Shinx now takes out Geodude in 3 hits, and with a lot of flinch luck, I even managed to take down his Onix. Last up, it's Cranidos. I'm low on HP, but quite a bit higher level. He gets to go first, headbutts Shinx, leaving us on only 1 HP. I bite back, doing a lot more than half, but not enough to win this attempt. Rock is perfectly doable at this level, though I'll need just a tiny bit more luck. Next attempt, I get past his Geodude and Onix on lower HP. I'm a one-shot for Cranidos. This time though, I go for Spark. Somehow I now outspeed, and also land Paralysis. That denies Rock a turn with Cranidos, and that nice bit of luck secures me my first gym badge. It's actually one of the nice things about Spark. It's pretty low base power, but the 30% paralysis chance is huge, and it comes in handy for the rest of the run, including the very next fight, against Mars. I outspeed and take out a Zubat in 1 hit, then get flinched by Progli's Fake Out, taking about 1/3 HP. All of Progli's moves hit for about the same damage, so I know it can take 2 more hits. I go for the charge, which doubles the power of an electric move if used next turn. I then land the boosted Spark on Progly, and it just barely survives, but it's paralysed. With a now half speed stat, Progly is slower than Shinx, so I finish it off. I can't believe that Shinx managed to beat Mars on the first attempt. However, that's pretty much the end of the simple and clean fights for Shinx. Every fight after has to come from the heart. Gardenia uses grass types, which resist electric. She also likes to set up Reflect on the first few turns. Shinx only knows physical attacks. We're left dealing very little damage to Pokemon faster than us. It's not a good time. So it's already time to do some more grinding. First of levels, then attempts. Pay attention to the time as well. I spend more than half an hour on this fight. In previous runs like on Staraptor, I spent that long for the Cyrus free fight, an actually tough boss with a really good team, if you don't have electric or rock moves. For Shinx however, half an hour for one boss is pretty fast. I think I'm beginning to understand why Gen 4 solo runs are rare on YouTube. Still, I keep grinding until the winning attempt. I find out from grinding that despite her resisting Spark, I have to use Charge Spark to get special defense boosts, letting me deal with her Roserade. Or at least that was the idea. The winning attempt just ignores good play and gets 3 crits. Next, it's Jupiter, and due to my excellent play of being level 30, well that was easy. Next, I make my way to Hearthome City, but before I can challenge Fantina, I get assaulted by a Baneri. Maybe I should use it in a run soon. I mean, I doubt it can be much worse than Shinx. Fantina is up next, and she's typically annoying. Crunch is able to two-shot most of her Pokemon, however she just spams Confusion, and most of the time I end up hitting myself. She is just super frustrating, but not hard to beat if you don't hit yourself. So after a few attempts I'm able to get past her. As we try to leave Hearthome, we get assaulted again. This time it's far less threatening, it's only rival free. He has gotten access to Intimidate, so Shinx is doing a lot less damage, but his Pokemon are all quite frail still, and half his team is weak to Electric. We only need the one lucky crit to win the battle, which is how you know it's an easy fight. On the other hand, Maylene is not easy. My first few attempts after I've reached Veilstone tell me I just can't win at this point. The good news is, this is one of the most open parts of Platinum. I'm able to fight every trainer around Veilstone and Pastoria City. I really wish that Platinum was a bit more open like earlier gen games. I think you should be allowed to do Wake or Maylene in either order. Just move Rival 4 to the gym you haven't done yet. Anyways, after a quick bit of grinding, it's time to try Maylene again. Hulucario does cause some issues, but on the winning attempt I managed to crit it, leaving Shinx against a McChoke. After the first spark, I can see it's a free hit KO. Meanwhile, she just sets up a Focus Energy. Next turn she lands a Rock Tomb that lowers my speed. Still, I'm really overleveled, so I think it won't matter. Next turn she goes first, and leaves me on just 1 HP. I do manage to then finish her off, but it's super worrying that a more than 10 level advantage still leads to fights being this close. Still, Maylene is around the halfway point of the game, so hopefully I don't need to get to level 100 to win. Rival 4 is up next, and it's pretty much the same fight as Rival 3. So yet again, we just need the one crit to win. So it only took 10 minutes of grinding at 3 times speed. Easy Shinx fights are other Pokemon's nightmares. Rival 4 was guarding Wake's gym. Now surely this should be good for Shinx. We're overleveled and we have a great typing for dealing with water types. I easily get past his Gyarados, then he sends out Quagsire. And by it just having a ground typing, it can easily tank Shinx and take us out in 2 hits. Well, I don't think I can deal with a Quagsire of all Pokemon without grinding or using Natural Gift. I just want to take a minute here to talk about Natural Gift and a few other moves. Natural Gift is a weird move that uses up a berry to attack with a certain type and base power. On the surface, this seems fine. I don't think this breaks the no held item rule, as you never actually use the held item. I do think that there is an issue, however. It's teachable to basically everything in Platinum, which means in almost every Solorun there's a reason to use it. Getting a once per battle 4 times effective move makes a lot of otherwise quite hard bosses free. Then again, without Natural Gift I'd have to grind up a lot more here. I'm just not sure if this move is okay to use, entirely because almost every Solorun would want to use it at some point. To me, it's almost similar to using Double Team. Everything can learn it, and as long as you can outspeed, Double Team will win any battle for you eventually. So I'm not sure in future runs if I should keep using Natural Gift. I feel like Solorun should be more unique to each Pokemon, and this move really takes away from that. But please let me know what you think about this in the comments though. I know it's a really cool and unique move, so maybe you guys are okay with it. But just pay attention to how often it comes up for Shinx in this run. Also, comments are great for the algorithm, and if you're enjoying the video up to this point, please like and subscribe too. Anyway, getting back to Wake. After grinding up 2 more levels and teaching Natural Gift, it's time for Wake again. I now outspeed his Gyarados, so I have full HP to deal with Quagsire. Natural Gift, even with the 4 times effective grass move, isn't quite enough to one-shot his Quagsire. After it survives the hit, Wake is guaranteed to full heal his Quagsire, so to play around this, I go for a first turn crunch, then go for the Natural Gift, which lets me take only 1 hit from his Quagsire. Finally, it's his Floatzel. It's an extremely fast and strong Pokemon, but I can go back to using Spark. He goes for Brine, leaving me on only 33 HP. Spark is also a 2-shot, but he goes first, and Brine gets a massive damage boost on low health Pokemon. So of course, because he's faster, Floatzel goes for Aqua Jet, which is way weaker. This lets Shinx just barely hang on, then take out Floatzel with Spark. Well, I'll take the Platinum AI giving me a free win. After Wake, Shinx takes out its frustration on some Psyducks. Then I get frustrated by having one of the worst routes in Pokemon. I love missing attacks due to Fog. I end up losing a fight due to Fog misses, and have to go back to Wake again. Thankfully this doesn't set me back too much, so it's on to the first Cyrus fight. Surprisingly, I'm able to beat him on the first attempt. After Cyrus, it's time for the rival on the bridge. First attempt, we can only get through 2 of his Pokemon, so it's back to grinding again. After a half-hour grinding, I'm ready to try again. I also equip a flying type berry for natural gift so I can one-shot the Heracross. I try again and get really close to taking out all of his Pokemon, failing on just his Roserade. All that I need to win this battle then is a lucky paralysis or crit. Next attempt, and that's exactly what I get. Now it's time to talk about BYRON. If any of you guessed that he'd be one of the hardest trainers of the run, you're not far off. For the record, my first attempt against him is at 4 hours 26. So what's the issue? Well, he has a Steelix, one of the most physically bulky Pokemon in the entire series. Not only that, it's immune to electric attacks. And finally, unlike all his gym trainers, BYRON's Steelix knows Earthquake, which one-shots us, even for a 22 level advantage. So it's time to look at Shinx's moveset and completely reevaluate what I'm using. I try a different attempt with Fury Cutter. Maybe the doubling attack might help. Even if I hadn't been burnt from the Magneton though, it just doesn't get powerful enough quickly enough to be useful. So I go away, grind a stupid amount, and relearn Swagger and Bite. I also teach Substitute to take a free hit from the Earthquake. Then to beat his Steelix, I need to get a Confuse hit, 2 flinches in a row, a Confuse hit, a flinch, then he full heals. So it's time to do it all over again. Predicting the full restore, I Swagger, which somehow misses, but next turn I manage to land it and he hits himself again. Then I get yet another flinch, then another confusion hit, then a final flinch, and that clutches out the fight. So that was completely and utterly ridiculous. If anyone wants to calculate the odds for that and tell me in the comments, I'd be really interested to know just how ridiculous that was. Also, that single fight only took 2.5 hours. I think I'm starting to get why Gen 4 Soloruns are rare. After the utter nightmare that was BYRON, the next part of the game is unsurprisingly easy. I mean, I'm level 75. Saturn, Mars, Candice, and even Cyrus 2 all end up being very easy. Then it's time to climb Mount Coronet for the plot, and also the double team against Jupiter and Saturn. However, I think due to how high Shinx's level is, they almost never attack me, so it's another free fight. After traversing one of the coolest areas in all of Pokemon, it's time for Cyrus 3, who surprisingly manages to put up a fight. Usually he is a very tough and long fight for Soloruns, even for great Pokemon. But come on, Shinx has a great typing for this fight and an insane level advantage. So naturally it's super close as we clutch the fight out with a Spark Paralysis and only 9 HP. Still, our cute little electric cat is then able to take down Pokemon Satan. Also yes, Shinx is based on a cat. I mean, look at its nose and paws. It's 100% based on a cat. Change my mind. After being congratulated by Professor Rowan for suffering past BYRON, we get to go and take down the final gym. We're at level 80 against Volkner, so of course we're outsped then taken down by his first 3 Pokemon. Some of that was on me though. I keep forgetting that 2 of his Pokemon have abilities that make them immune to Spark. After a few more attempts, I'm able to win just by spamming return and dodging paralysis for 4 turns in a row. It still amazes me just how lucky Shinx has to be to win what should be simple fights. We managed to make it through Victory Road, then it's time for the final 6 trainers. Do you think Shinx can take it all the way? Well, let's find out. I managed to beat the rival on my second attempt with just a little bit of confusion luck. That wasn't that bad, I'm honestly beginning to believe. After that, it's Bugman. It's a similar story to the rival. I can one-shot a few of his Pokemon, and need just a little bit of paralysis or confusion luck to edge out his stronger Pokemon. Well, this is going really well. Who's up next? Why do I hear boss music? It's Bertha, and she single-handedly stops this run dead. All her Pokemon resist Spark, so I'm not able to rely on any paralysis luck. The only thing I've got to deal with her is confusion luck. After really badly losing the first attempt to her at 8 hours 41 minutes, it's time to start grinding and looking at Shinx's learn set. See if you can see one of the key pieces to beating Bertha. Trust me, it's a move you'd never expect. After a good few hours grinding, I finally get Shinx up to level 100, then learn the moveset I need for Bertha, buy up all the TMs and healing items I'll need for the Elite Four, and head to the league. So the plan for Bertha is just get confusion luck for 3 of her Pokemon. I'll use Natural Gift for a water move on Rhytheria, and with some luck her Wish Cache only goes to Sandstorm turn 1, letting me take it out without too much damage. The other thing is this fight is also on a timer. Bertha always sends out Hippowdon second, and Sandstream in Gen 4 is permanent. So every turn I'm guaranteed taking 1/16th damage, so therefore I only have 16 turns after Hippowdon comes out to confuse the rest of her team to knockouts. This takes hours, probably getting near hundreds of attempts. I think some of this was self-inflicted. Looking at Shinx's learn set again, perhaps Iron Tail would let me take out Golem a lot easier, but we still need a lot of confusion luck for the fight. Though I also think I was very unlucky. We only need 4 confusion hits back to back to get to Gliscor, but I just can't manage to get that lucky that often. It's only about as unlikely as a crit, but it takes more than 3 hours of attempts at 3 times speed to get a winning run. I have also learnt Magnet Rise. It gives me Levitate for 5 turns, which lets me dodge ground type moves. It actually doesn't end up mattering that much for this fight, as I mostly just rely on outspeeding and confusing to beat her Pokemon, but it is vital for later on. So I finally managed to beat Bertha, and I think I can answer, at least for electric types, why Gen 4 Soloruns are so rare. I also need to admit that after hours of attempting Bertha, every time I got to a Gliscor, I was making a save state. This might end up upsetting some people, but after so many failed attempts, I valued my sanity. The only thing that this really changes is RNG is slightly different based on what move you use, so by swapping in what order I use certain moves, I was able to get enough confusion hits to win. This was so painful. But I have done it, and from here there's only 3 trainers left. After Bertha, I can finally learn Charge Beam. Shinx's special attack is quite a lot worse than its physical, but with a boost or 2, Thunder becomes way more powerful than Spark. Blaine isn't a pushover, but after Bertha, a half-hour fight feels really quick. The real issue for Flannery is that his fire types hit very hard. They do about 1/3 health per hit, and they're very fast. However, after many attempts, I get a lucky run where Thunder barely misses and his Flareon misses a Will-O-Wisp, so I'm just able to get past Chili. Lucian is up next, and I've come prepared. I kept Crunch just for this fight, so I'm able to outspeed and one-shot almost all of his team. The ones that I can't one-shot, I'm able to tank the hits from. Finally, a decent fight for Shinx. Now, it's time for the last trainer between me and the Hall of Fame. Her team is honestly pretty weak to electricity, bar one small land shark shaped problem. Garchomp. It of course outspeeds me and hits hard enough with Earthquake to one-shot Shinx. So for the last time this run, I learn Natural Gift and get a nice type berry. That's only half the issue though. If I set up the previously mentioned Magnet Rise on her Spiritomb, Garchomp can't land an Earthquake. It will then go for Dragon Rush, which has quite a high miss chance. So if I can just get a Charge Beam boost or 2 in Spiritomb, then a Dragon Rush miss, and finally land 3 Thunders and get enough Charge Beam boosts so I can one-shot Roserade, I can beat her. It does sound very unlikely, but compared to Bertha, it's actually rather simple. So after only 12 minutes of attempts, I'm able to take down Cynthia with a few lucky crits thrown in. I've finally done it. I've beaten Pokémon Platinum with just a Shinx. No items in battle, and for the most part no held items. Honestly, I nearly gave up on this run at Bertha. I knew it was going to be possible, but the sheer number of attempts I had to do was so frustrating. Still, finally winning this run feels great. So again, a massive thank you to Dave for suggesting this. Though hard, this has to be one of the most fun runs I've done so far. So if anyone wants to suggest a Pokemon for me to use next, please do. I do already have another run that's nearly complete, but if there's a demand for any specific Pokemon, I'll try and make it happen as soon as I can. I'm also considering doing other challenge types in the future, so any suggestions about that would also be great. For people that watch this far, please consider liking and subscribing, it really helps me and the channel out. You can also join my Discord in the description if you want to talk to me or suggest other runs, or even show how you're faster than me at doing any of the runs I've done so far. For everyone else, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me that hopefully you guys enjoy this. Anyway, have a great day.